Talk a lot about how terrible processed foods are, and especially the overly processed, super sugary, infused with all of those inorganic chemicals, those types of foods, the ones that are pictured right there, how bad they are. But why are they so bad? We all know that they're just kind of nutritionally devoid, and there's just mostly empty calories, a bunch of different processed fats, a bunch of vegetable oils. It just all causes inflammation in your body. It's just general crap that you should avoid. Good practice of that is making sure that you don't eat your stuff out of bags and boxes. You do that, you're going to live a pretty healthy life, I would say. But let's get to let's dissect this a little bit deeper. Let's get down to brass tacks, as it were. How ultra-processed foods cause disease. All right. Researchers find a lack of nutrients isn't the only concern with these foods. Well, then, there's even more to be concerned about. Great. Let's tackle this head on. In countries such as the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada, ultra-processed foods now account for 50% of the calories consumed. Sorry, what? What the? All right, then. This is concerning. I would say so. At least 50%? Lord have mercy. Given that these foods have been linked to a number of different health conditions, including a greater risk of obesity and various chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease and dementia. Ultra-processed food are concoctions of various industrial ingredients such as emulsifiers, thickeners, and artificial flavors, amalgamated into food products by a series of manufacturing processes. Sugary drinks and many breakfast cereals are ultra-processed foods, as are more recent innovations, such as so-called plant-based burgers. Beyond Meat. It's funny when the pictures of the shelves, especially during the supply chain crisis was going on, you'd see the pictures of all of the shelves in the grocery stores that were completely barren, and then they'd go down, all of your toiletry sections. Yeah, everybody was still panicking when it came to toilet paper, paper towel, and all that stuff. Then they'd go down the produce section. You'd see a random box of spinach or something. Then they'd go past the butcher's table, all of the cold cuts, everything that keeps T-bone steaks. All of that stuff is gone. But what would still be there? All of the vegan option meats that were there. Just hilarious. Because again, you just take a look at the ingredients list of your regular chuck steak. What's in there? Beef. Great. What's there for your Beyond Meat replacement? You need a chemist degree in order to decipher what the hell is actually in this stuff. It's amazing. And even one of its biggest pushers that are out there. Okay, Bill Gates has even walked back. Yeah, it's tough to get these people to eat this stuff. Getting people to not eat meat. Yeah, it's a tough process that's out there. Even he's conceding it. Wow. These plant-based burgers, yeah, they ain't good, okay? Nobody wants to eat the bugs as much as you want to continue to push this stuff. Typically made of protein isolates and other chemicals to make the products palatable. Like here, I'll even just show you what I got for a protein shake right now. Okay, mostly because Costco is going through just kind of a weird flux, so I've got, they call it, okay, it's organic plant-based protein, okay? I don't know, is it vegan or some shit like that? But it's really close. It's got pea protein. Like, here, I can actually pronounce everything that's on here. Okay? Organic vegan fit. Oh, I guess it is vegan. Whatever. I don't really care. Organic pea protein. Organic hemp protein powder. Organic rice protein powder. Organic chia seed protein powder. Organic flaxseed powder. Okay. Organic acai gum powder. Organic cocoa powder. Natural dark chocolate flavor. Vanilla flavor. Sea salt. Organic stevia extract. Xanthan gum. Enzyme bromolamine prolase. And natural flavor. All said and done, you get 21 grams of protein per scoop. It's pretty decent. It's a little bit gritty, though. It's not exactly my favorite, but it was a decent alternative. Okay? And that's the most inorganic or the more isolated forms of protein that you can get out there. But still, what was that? Like less than a dozen ingredients all said and done in, on, or around? Whereas you compare and contrast that with your regular plant-based burgers. Oh, buddy. She's a phone book slapped on the back of that stuff. Bring your reading glasses. The intense industrial process used to produce ultra-processed foods destroy the natural structure of the ingredients and strip away many beneficial nutrients such as fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. Many of us are well aware the ultra-processed foods are harmful to our health, but it's unclear whether they simply are because the foods are of poor nutritional value. Now, 2 new studies have shown that poor nutrition may not be enough to explain away their health risks, so the role of inflammation. Hey, my guy, the first study, which looked into more than 20,000 healthy Italian adults. Hey, we don't like it. They eat the Snickers bar. Just go out there and catch the fatty fish and throw it on top of some brand new linguine, yeah? Something like that. Found the participants who consumed the highest number of ultra-processed foods had an increased risk of dying prematurely from any cause. From any cause. The second study, which looked at more than 50,000 U.S. male health professionals, found high consumption of ultra-processed foods was associated with a greater risk of colon cancer. Most interesting about these studies is that the health risk from eating a diet high in ultra-processed foods remained even after they accounted for the poor nutritional content of their diets. That suggests that other factors contribute to the harm caused by ultra-processed foods. It implies that getting the right nutrients elsewhere in the diet may not be enough to cancel out the risk of disease from consuming ultra-processed foods. Similarly, attempts from the food industry to improve the nutritional value of ultra-processed foods by adding a few more vitamins may be sidestepping a more fundamental problem with these foods. So what factors may explain why ultra-processed foods are so harmful to our health? The Italian study found that inflammatory markers such as high white blood cell content were higher in groups that ate most ultra-processed food. Our bodies may trigger an inflammatory response for any number of reasons. For example, if we catch a cold or get cut, the body responds by sending signals to our immune cells, which as white blood cells, and attack any invading pathogens. Interesting, such as bacteria and viruses. Usually our inflammatory response resolves quite quickly, but some people may develop a chronic inflammation throughout their bodies. This can cause tissue damage and is involved in many chronic diseases such as cancer and cardiovascular disease. Many studies have found that poor diets can increase inflammation in the body and that it is linked to a higher risk of chronic diseases, given the sign of inflammation, as we have seen in the participants in the Italian study who ate the most ultra-processed foods. This could suggest that inflammation may contribute to why ultra-processed foods may increase disease risk. Some food additives common in ultra-processed foods, such as emulsifiers and artificial sweeteners, also increase inflammation in the gut, causing changes to the gut microbiome, yes, which can also stimulate many other problems on top of that. We've talked extensively about gut microbiome on the channel and the importance of overall gut health. Some researchers have theorized that ultra-processed foods increase inflammation because they are recognized by the bodies as being foreign, much like invading bacteria. So the body mounts an inflammatory response, which is dubbed as fast food fever. As a result, inflammation is increased throughout the body. Although the U.S. colon cancer study can't establish if inflammation increased in the men consuming the most ultra-processed foods, inflammation is strongly linked with an increased risk of colon cancer. Research shows that other mechanisms such as impaired kidney function and toxins in food packaging may also explain why ultra-processed foods can cause so many dangerous health problems. Oh wow, we're almost done with this. Amazing. Since inflammatory responses are hardwired in our bodies, the best way to prevent this from happening is to avoid eating ultra-processed foods. Wow. Some plant-based diets high in natural unprocessed foods such as Mediterranean diet, keto diet, paleo diet, the ones that I espouse all the time. It's almost like I'm consistently proven right. Yeah, maybe echo chamber listening to the same studies, but you know, if they actually get the people running the numbers, then it just more or less proves me up right all the time. I don't know, man. I can continue to take credit or to just, maybe you guys can find me a little bit more credible because all of the experts are out there agreeing with me. Anyways, this may also explain why plant-based diets free from ultra-processed foods can help ward off chronic diseases. It isn't currently known to what extent an anti-inflammatory diet can help counteract the effects of ultra-processed food. Simply reducing your intake of ultra-processed foods may be a challenge. Yeah, because they're designed specifically, like in a lab, in order to be more addictive, the satiety content is a little bit higher that's out there. It's also why, if you go to get a good thirst quencher that's out there, well, I'll rely on my, trusty water bottle. People will often reach for a soft drink that's out there, a Papa soda, whatever the hell you want to call it, Oh, nothing quite quenches your thirst like a good Sprite. Yeah, with all of those high fructose corn syrups, if you're down there in the States, or just the absurd amount of sugar content that's in there. Around the west of the world, they use sugar cane. It's so much better. No, it's not. What are you talking about? It's got all of those additional additives on top of that. It doesn't help anything. And again, it doesn't actually make you less thirsty. It doesn't satiate you properly. It just stimulates you wanting to drink more of the stuff, and then it just gets you on this never-ending loop, and you're never properly hydrated at the end of it. It just tickles that part of your brain that's like, oh, this tastes very good, better drink more of it. Ultra-processed foods aren't labeled as such on food packaging. The best way to identify them is looking at their ingredients. Exactly. If there's a bunch of stuff on there that you cannot pronounce, or if there's an abundance of words on there that doesn't quite figure it out, or just another one to just take a look at that. Is it lining up with this ingredients? Okay, if you take a look at everything that's in there, can you see anything that's on that ingredient list that looks anything remotely to what you're holding on to at the time? If the answer is no for that one, just leave it on the shelf. Let it sit there for some other unhealthy person to just go out there and take. You're trying to live your life the best that you possibly can. High quality people and high quality nutrition. That'll set you up for success. And that's what I hope for everybody that's out there that's listening to this message. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone. Just about forgot my own send off. Unbelievable. That's embarrassing.